Hey, with so much information out there, it's hard to know what will work or not work for you in pursuit of getting your ex back. However, in this video, I will touch on mistakes you should avoid. Hi, I'm Michael Taylor, Certified Life Coach for Achieve Personal Coaching, and this is the Breakup Brit channel. Welcome. Before I get stuck in, I need a small tiny favour. This channel is in its infancy and relies on building a following from you guys to push it to reach out to many others. Hit subscribe, and while you're at it, the notification bell. So do that for me if you can. It'll take you a couple of seconds. Thank you. And with that, let's get started. I'm going to tell you about some of the stupid mistakes I have made in previous years before I really started to study relationships and breakups. Some of this will be off script, and hopefully I will not go too far off track with the subject. It'll be, heartfelt advice, and then we'll circle round to what the Breakup Bible tells us about mistakes made when trying to get back with an ex-partner. I wonder sometimes if I've just been unlucky in love, or simply choose the wrong match, or of course whether I was just a bloody pain in the arse. The many breakups I've been through have felt more painful each time. I guess as I get older, the disappointment of a failed relationship does not come any easier. I'm currently writing a book where some chapters touch on the subject of breakups and relationships. When I got divorced many years ago, just a few years ago, I said I could write a book, as it was such a huge time of learning. And finally, I hope to have this dream a reality and published by the end of 2023, which we're in now, if you're picking this video up many years down the line. So listen, your comments below could even be helpful to the content if you would like to tell me more about your experiences. If you go to my website, which is www.achieve-personalcoaching.com, there is some information on there about all of this and the coaching programs I offer for you to consider. Of course, all of my contact details are there on the homepage. Reach out and let's see if we can get a connection going, and hopefully I'll be able to help you. Like many of us, I've made all the common mistakes after being hit with the news of that your partner is leaving you. I've begged, pleaded, said I can change, said all the things like we can get through this, wrote letters, blown up phones with desperate texts and quote pictures, and cried my eyes out and drunk myself stupid. Skipped work, avoided people, stayed up all night thinking, and almost gone on hunger strike because, a complete loss of appetite. Even smoked as a non-smoker. Did any of this work to ease the pain or make me feel better? Of course not. Did my ex come running back into my arms? Nope. All that happened was that they just sailed, further out to sea. And obviously the connection got even more distant, and to the point of anger as well, where I was pissing off my exes, or ex, whichever one. And I was on the receiving end of like messages that almost took me to a place where I didn't want to be here anymore. And all of this for one person. It is shocking how the brain reacts. You as that once happy and confident person turns into a weak, unrecognisable shell of your former self. Days become long and thinking ahead is almost impossible, knowing that it could take many months to recover. That seems to just inject fear in us and further desperation into our already broken self. Every moment of the day I could not get thoughts of my ex out of my mind. I was always like thinking that she was the magic cure for all of this intense pain to go away. Can you relate to that? Is that how you're thinking? Because if you are, it won't come to any surprise to you that it's far from the truth. There is more going on inside of you that needs to be cured first. In the past, I went to hypnotherapy, counselling, therapists, read self-help books, meditation and yoga, attended loads of different seminars and classes, and even turned to sort of Buddhist teachings. I went to a thing on a weekly basis. Did any of that bring back the one I loved? No. Of course it didn't. You see, obviously the relationship needs two people, and despite all the work that you can do on yourself, if the other person is not wanting to try, then all the pushing will never bring your ex back. Without realising it though, at the time, I was becoming a much stronger and better person with a better understanding of me and relationships and the causes of the breakups or the breakdown. As I touched on, you need two to tango. The other half of the relationship is the person in control of the ultimate decision to get back together. Or are they? One of the big mistakes we make is that we think that our ex will never want to get back together, but we ignore the fact that after all this self-improvement, we unconsciously have regained the power. Not only have we become much better and attractive, we've now gained the control of ourselves back and the ability to choose. So you can see that if we avoid the work on ourselves, we are probably making the biggest mistake in our attempt to be happy again, either by re-attracting a past love or inviting a new one into our lives. Leaving a partner is not an overnight decision. Never believe it is, unless of course you discovered there was cheating or suffered abuse in a relationship, and even abuse is never an overnight decision. As in these desperate types of relationships, many people are forgiving and believe it was a one-off mistake and it would not happen again. But of course, most times it rears its ugly head, and this is not love. If you're finding this helpful up to this part of the video, go ahead and help me out and hit the like thumb, and let me remind you, if you've not already done so, to subscribe to the channel. Now is your opportunity to do so, as we're going to take just a short break, and when we come back I will tell you more in a bullet point fashion ways to avoid the mistakes in trying to get your ex back. Welcome back. Just want to say before we go forward, I'm not in my usual place of recording these videos. I actually, at the moment, I'm out living in Ibiza for a short time, and there's a lot of background noise that I can't control. So if you pick up on any of that, I do apologise, and I hope it doesn't spoil your viewing. So reflecting so far, we've touched on 1, begging and pleading, desperation and bargaining. We know that is a big mistake and it will never work. 2, failing to acknowledge to work on ourselves is an even bigger mistake. And it is essential in rebuilding not only our life, but any future relationships going forward. 3, rest, sleep and diet is important to have a clearer mindset, and not looking after ourselves and maybe turning to drink, drugs or lack of self-love is an error of huge proportions and unattractive, not just to your ex but to all. 4, it's also true that a big mistake after a breakup is a lack of structure. Pushing ourselves to carry on and fill our time with as much of the normal routine not only fills your time and keeps you busy, it gives less opportunity to wrestle with your inner chatter and of course your negative thoughts. 5, and one thing I've not mentioned yet, is showering your ex with gifts, thinking that will make them bring down the barriers, so to speak. You know, this is not the answer, and you cannot buy someone's love. And you know, why would you want to? Just avoid the gifting, disappearing and respecting the decision of the dumper and allowing them to have that space, however long, is the logical part of this situation. Both of you need a time to reflect, and you will do so at your own pace. Remember, it's a mistake to try and force a reunion. 6, last of all, stalking. Don't do it. Sitting outside their house following them is not only cranky, but you will end up with a court order on your doorstep. This includes, for your own sanity, checking social media for any clues of what your ex is up to. So, you know, take all of this in. Remember, the aim is to bring them closer, not push them further away. This is not a story of one person's experience. These are common mistakes that an overwhelming amount of heartbroken human beings do. There's more science to the reaction and responses we take, but we won't go any further with that now. I'll look to cover that in the future. Thanks for today. Next time we'll cover more on getting your ex back and breakups. So again, hit the like and subscribe buttons and the notification bell. And I'll see you next time, where we'll talk more about breakups and getting your ex back. But I wish you peace and happiness. Take care of yourself.